What is up, good people? Crypto Prepper here. Today is Thursday, May 14th, 2026. Today we're looking at a fear and greed index of 51 on CoinMarketCap anyway, with a Bitcoin price of 81,400. So we are scrolling down to find the best Avalanche AVAX trading bot for 2026. So I don't know a whole lot about AVAX. Let's see. Is this? Yeah. So I was thinking, I remembered Blockchain Backer talking about AVAX and how it was up on the development, high on uh, developers list, but I couldn't remember what source it uses. So I just asked the Google AI. But apparently it's one of the most used active chains as far as transactions, um, and has high total value locked. But other than that, I really don't know a whole lot about it. So anyway, let's start looking at bots because I just looked into that because I thought it was interesting how this is one of the first coins we've seen that is way down at the lows of 2023. So where I think most coins in the last bear market bottomed in June or even um, November of 2022, right? Let's see. Yeah, here we go. November 22, when FTX collapsed, but AVAX made a lower low in early 23, and then even a lower low in late 2023. So I thought that was interesting, and I was just looking to see if I could find a little bit more information to see what's going on with this coin and why it's um, not doing so well compared to other coins. But anyway, let's get to setting up a grid bot on AVAX. So just like my previous videos, what I do is I go back as far as I can, as far as the back test goes, which is 365 days. And for this case, sorry, I heard a weird noise that kind of threw me off my cadence. But I measured down 65% and measured up 65%. I I don't know if you always want to do that, but I'd just like to keep my lower measurement and my high measurement equal as far as percentage. And it just so happened to all but catch just the very last little wick of that capitulation on February 5th and 6th. But other than that, it covered this entire grid. Oh, and maybe my percentage might be a little bit off. Let's see. I might be closer to 65 and a half here as far as my grid net to catch these transactions. But so we have quite a wide range here, and it caught all the upside. Now, if I were to set up this bot today, seeing that we're at 3-year lows already, I don't really, oh man, if this goes much lower, I don't really know because there's no floor under here. So this has got to be a pretty solid floor. And so far, since the that latest low in February 5th of 2026, it's held that. So I guess that's a good sign. And it's didn't quite make a higher high here. But what I would do if I were to set up a grid bot on this today is I wouldn't actually go down 65%. I would basically go back down to this low on February 5th, and then take my high up to, oh, maybe September 2025. and go from there. So, your return this coming year is probably going to be better than this 365-day back test because even though we did have a lot of activity, you would still be you would still have like a negative total PNL on this, even with the 12.5% APY that this gave. And let's do a back test just to make sure, because I did change a couple of things here. Yeah, so I didn't change my back test. So you can see these settings would have given you a 12.5% APY and just just barely missed a couple transactions here on February 6th. So, and you can see here's my break even price. So let's see if I were to sorry for the radio silence. I was just kind of thinking this. So if my break even price, oops, come on, is 1802 and it's currently about $10. If I closed out this bot, if I had been running this bot, I would still be 32% in the hole, and it would show up on that on your list here as negative 32%. But that's only an unrealized loss. And like I said, it's at a pretty heavy duty floor here, not having any activity in its entire. It's at its lifetime low. So I don't know if I would set up a bot on AVAX, but if you were a fan of AVAX and you wanted to, that's up to you, not financial advice. But 12.5% is pretty good. And so what I tried to do, like always, is I tried to beat that with the DCA bots because they actually typically do pretty well. They've done, I've been able to beat the grid bot settings with the DCA bots on most of all these other coins that I've done so far. But wow, just this lower high after lower high here. I don't know, but I really couldn't get a good back test for 365-day back test using this bot, using the DCA bot on AVAX. Because the highest it'll let me take this is 15%, you know. And so if I did that with a 365-day back test, let's see. Let's see what it pulls up. I can't remember exactly. So 2.53% APY, and it's been out of range since February 5th. So that's unacceptable. Doesn't even meet the GridBot uh, base, my base goal. And you can see here, this was grayed out, so it won't even let me do any higher than that. So then I got to thinking, with it being at this floor, if I were to do my standard five averaging orders, five averaging orders step percent, and keep my take profit percent at 5%, and of course my risk management pump dump protection off. If I only did a 90-day back test, and basically that would have been from February 14th to May 14th today, that gave me already a 5.76% APY. So that's pretty dang good. But let's see if I took it back to February, say you started it right on that day, February 5th. You're like, okay, here's a pretty crazy capitulation. It's scaring everybody. Let's go ahead and start this bot. This is interesting because it actually gave me less of a return, even though it would have captured more of this move. It would have, I'm gonna say you set it up right on that day, February 5th or February 6th, and it's has a lot of transactions right in that first day. So It's just surprising that it's offering or that it's actually produced a lower APY by adding a few days in there. So if I were to set up a bot on this today, I'd probably go with a more bull market settings, and because I can't find good settings that will take me from May 15th, 2025 and cover me all the way down. So it really hasn't. Let's see. I mean, it's just the chart playing tricks on my eyes. It really hasn't fallen more than the other coins, about 60% in the last year. So I really don't know why I couldn't get the DCA bot, because even here on October 9th, it was able to capture that. Let's see. So only take me back to November. It's crazy to think November was only 6 months ago. Let's look at this 365-day back test. Now this is interesting. What the heck is going on? Oh, this is my 5, 5, and 5. Okay. Not the original. So these settings here, the 5, 5, and 5, would not have protected you all throughout that. You basically be out of range since October 10th. It was the other one where I had this up to like 15 that it actually would have survived past that um, October 10th capitulation. Let's see here. Where's my dots? But it only bought once. Okay, so that's not even really that great. But like I said, if I were to set up a bot on this today, I would go with 5 averaging orders quantity, 5 averaging order step percent, and a 5% take profit. So hopefully that helps you find the best bot for 2026. Whether you wanted to stay more conservative and go with the grid bot settings, but I would set these up, and this is of course not financial advice. This is just what I would do if I were setting up bots on AVAX today, is I would just go down to this February 5th low here at 770 and then take my high price up, about, oh, I don't know, maybe just up to this 36 level that I got to last September. And then I did have this change that I had it at the default 50 or 100 grid levels. But if I change it back to 50, that's what I typically do on these. It actually would have got a little bit better return. Not quite as much activity, but a little bit better return. Because what was the other one? My short-term memory is not that great because I just pull so many bots. I can't even remember all these numbers. So yeah, I gave you a 3% better return, just not as much activity throughout the year. So anyway, hopefully that helps you find the best AVAX trading bot for 2026 if you are so inclined. Um, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. If you want to see more of these videos, subscribe to the channel and leave me your favorite coin in the comments, and I'll see if I can get you some good bot settings. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.